The teachings of Rabbi Ephraim Sprecher, Dean of Students at Diaspora Yeshiva on Mount Zion, Jerusalem.
Today we're speaking about dreams. Why do we dream? And what is the purpose of dreams? We'll see in our sources that we dream at night what we're thinking about during the day. So therefore, the brothers of Yosef accused Yosef that his dreams were only an indication of his yearning and obsession to rule over them. We dream about what makes us tick. Dreams are our longing, our true inner self-expression. Dreams are the foundation of our inner being, the central core of the real me. Therefore, the dream of the temple is the foundation upon which the physical temple can be built. Remember Field of Dreams, Avram? What does he say then, Field of Dreams? Build it and he will come. We need our dreams and our aspirations. We must try to achieve the realization of our noble dreams. All life is but a dream. I'm reading side A, my handwriting, at the bottom of the page. Everyone has dreams, but it's what follows the dreams that matters. As we'll see, the Talmud teaches that dreams are what are dreams? Are judged and realized according to their interpretation. You hear? This means that what is actually done with the dream becomes the value of the dream itself. Many dreams remain just that, dreams unfulfilled, good ideas never to come to action. So, a person has a good dream or a bad dream, should he be concerned, should he dismiss it, and what is the purpose of a dream? So if you turn to side B, life is but a dream. We say in Psalm, Shir Amalot, B'shuv Hashem, Eshiv Asiyah, L'Yinu K'cholmim. When God brings us back to Pisgat Zev, we'll be like dreamers. After 2,000 years of exile, 3 years after the Holocaust, we're back in Zion. That's like a dream. L'Yinu K'cholmim. So let's look at source number 1. This is from Tractate Brochot, page 55. Person has a good dream, a bad dream. How should he handle it? Should he dismiss it or what? So source number 1, this is from Tractate Brochot. Shmuel, the Yamora Shmuel, ki have a chelma bisha, when Shmuel had a nightmare. Source number 1. Shmuel ki have a chelma bisha. You see that, Avram? When Shmuel, the great Amora sage Shmuel, had a nightmare, he said, I'm not concerned, because there's a pasuk in Zechariah, v'chaloimos hashav yidaberu. Dreams are lies. So if you have a nightmare, the rabbi turned over, went back to sleep, he quoted Zechariah, v'chaloimos hashav yidaberu, where the prophet says that dreams are all lies and deceit, so I'm not concerned. Ki have a choza chelma tova, looks like he's burning both ends of the candles, Avram. But when the great sage Shmuel had a good dream, Amar, he said, dreams speak lies. No, b'chaloma dabrebo. By Midbar 12, God says, I speak to prophets in a dream. So when he had a nightmare, he dismissed it. It's lies and falsehood. And when the rabbi had a good dream, he said, wow, this is good stuff. God tells us in Pashas Baloischa, I speak to a person in what? In a dream. You don't see a contradiction here. We create our own reality, positive or negative. Isn't that amazing? There's an amazing Gemara in Moed Katan, page 18. We can still talk about the Aked Avram, right? Until Tuesday, you can still talk about the last week's parsha. Abraham tells the servants, you remain here at the foot of the mountain. We and the lad will go worship, and we will return to you.
But he
What do you mean? So the town. What if he knew? Then what kind of test is it? What do you mean we will return? Should have said I will return. Hakman says v'nushuva aleichem, we will return to you. So the Gemara Moed Katan, page 18, makes an amazing statement. Because Avram said that, therefore Yitzchak was saved. If he wouldn't have said that, Yitzchak would have been dead meat. Moed Katan 18, Yehuda. We create our own reality. Positive and negative. Moed Katan 18. So because Avram said we will return, that's the way it happened. So let's go back to here and see how this plays out. We're still in source number 1, side B, Avram. You have it? Rava asked a contradiction. In Bamidbar 12, God says, I speak to a person in a dream. Uksiv, and then in Zechariah, he tells Zechariah, the dreams are what? Lies and deceit. So make up your mind. Are dreams true, what the Midbar 12 says? Or are dreams a lie and deceit, as Zechariah says? Yes. Lo kasha. Yes. Yes. Lo kasha. Kan al yedei malach. Kan al yedei shed. When a person has a good dream, that's God speaking to him through a malach. When a person has a bad dream, that's shed. What's shed? The devil made me do it. Shed means a devil. Devil or angel. What?
It's something to cast out. Feel
yeah. Omar Rav Bizna Bar Zavda, Omar Rav Akiva, Omar Rav Panda, Omar Rav Nachum, Omar Rav Biram, L'Shem Zokan Echad, Amani Rav Bana. Esem V'arba Poisach Halayim Osoi B'Shalayim. In ancient Israel, what was a good profession to go into? Dream interpreter. You would hang a shingle, dream interpreter. You hear this? So this rabbi once had a dream, and he went to all 24 dream interpreters in Yerushalayim. You hear this? V'lachti etzu kulam, and what this guy interpreted for me, this guy didn't interpret for me, and all of them came true. Because dreams follow what? Interpretation.
But if he went to 24, he had 24.
He had to pay 24 different dream interpreters a fee, and each one interpreted a different way, and all of them came true.
Wow,
that's pretty amazing, huh? How could that be, right? So how to handle bad dreams? Should we fear bad dreams? How to have a sweet dream? Think sweet thoughts by day, Avram, and you have a sweet dream. Yeah. If a person thinks bad thoughts during the day, that'll come back to haunt him. Yeah. So if you think good, trach gut, sein gut. The Babich Rabbi said, right? Let's go to source number 2. Omar Rav Shmuel Bar Nachmani, Omar Rabbi Yonatan. You see source number 2? It's also the Gemara in Brachot. Ein marin lo adam elo mehurei riba. A person only dreams at night what he thinks about during the day. I think Freud said it, but 2,000 years before Freud, Rabbi Shmuel said it. That a person only dreams at night what he thinks about during the day. Shenemar, there's a pasuk in Daniel. Remember the Nebuchadnezzar had a frightening dream? It scared the wits out of him about this giant monster. Nebuchadnezzar had a dream. And none of his wise men could interpret it, except whom? Daniel. Shenema, Daniel told him, Ant Malka Rayanoch, you great king, it's your idea. Al Mishkavcha Silku. It is what you were thinking about during the day, you dreamed about at night. You hear this? Yeah. So don't be so scared, kingy. Right? You're just obsessed with monsters. Maybe you saw a monster movie. It came from outer space. So therefore, it came to, you dreamed about it. Omar Rava. Rava says, Teda. Source number 2, Avram. How do we know that a person only dreams during night what he thought about during the day? Teda. Deloy machva le'inish. A person is never shown in a dream. Lo dikla de hava. He's never shown a golden palm tree in a dream. V'loy pila de oyo bekufa de machta. And he's never shown an elephant passing through the eye of a needle. How can you never dream about an elephant passing through the eye of the needle? And you never dream about a golden palm tree, Avram. Why? Because you don't think about it. Right? You don't think about it. So what you think about during the day, that's what you're going to dream about, what? At night. So if we think pleasant, good thoughts during the day, we'll have sweet dreams. Sweet dreams. If a person thinks about the negative actions during the day, right? Violence or immorality, then he'll have chas v'sholom, a bad dream. So again, we create our own reality, positive or negative. You look at source number 3. There's a pasuk in Yirmiyahu. Hanavi ashi'ito chalom, yisapeh chalom. God tells the prophet, during Jeremiah, there's a lot of false prophets. During Yirmiyahu, there was a lot of false prophets. So the Jews didn't know who to believe. Should they believe Jeremiah, the true prophet, or should they believe the false prophets who were predicting everything is going to be rosy? So in source number 3, Yirmiyahu says, Hanavi ashe'ito chalom. The Navi that he has a false prophet who has a dream, yisapeh chalom, he will tell over the dream. But ba'asher davari ito yidabed davari emes. But my words are only spoken truth, says God. Ma leteven asabar. What a straw got to do with what? With grain. Strange verse, Chava, in Jeremiah 23. God says there are false prophets. I only speak my word to true prophets. But what does straw got to do with grain? What does God mean about that? Num Hashem. V'chi ma inyan bar v'teva etz chalom. What does grain got to do with straw? Elomar yocham shem echai kishem she'efshel abar b'loy teven. Just like it's impossible to have wheat, grain, without what? Chaff. Kachi efshel lechalom b'loy dvar metalin. So even a good, true dream also has to have somewhat chaff in it. Brewing. And our job is to what? Sift. It's amazing to fall. You ain't got, even when you're sleeping, you still have to be what? Sifting. We're making choices, Avram, all day while we're awake. We're tested all day by awake, but the Gemara is saying over here, even when you're sleeping, you're still being tested. It ain't over. Even when you're sleeping, you're being tested. You still have to make choices, even in your sleep.
Wow.
It ain't over till it's over. You hear? That's what feels so real. That's the test. And we have to sift the wheat from the chaff, the truth from falsehood, the good from the bad. You listening? That's pretty amazing. The Malach tells Yaakov in next week's parasha, Vayishlach, your name will no longer only be Yaakov, it'll be Yisrael. Ki sarisa im Elohim, but Manoshim, you fought with God and with people, Vatuchal, and you're able to overcome. Now the word Elohim doesn't always mean God. The word Elohim can also mean what? A Malach. Yaakov fought with the Malach. Which Malach was he fighting with? Yetzer Hara. All of us fight with the Malach. We all have our personal Malach that we fight with, the Yetzer Hara. And the Gemara is saying here that even in our sleep, he don't let go. Barrel, I thought when you're sleeping, leave me alone already. I got to fight with my Malach, my personal Yetzer Hara, when I'm awake. But the Gemara says it ain't over even when you're sleeping. The Yetzer Hara continues to struggle with you in the form of a nightmare. That's the Yetzer Hara. That's the shed. He doesn't let go for a moment. But a Yisrael means to fight with your personal Malach, and Avram, we shall overcome. Get it? Even in our dream, the Yetzer Hara tries to pull us down by nightmares. Will you freak out? Or will you say it's lies? You're not going to scare me, Malach. Malach, get lost. I'm able to overcome you. So if it's a good dream, then it's Hashem speaking to you. If it's a bad dream, it's the Yetzer Hara trying to pull you down. So therefore, only the good dreams I will accept. But the bad dreams, that's lies. Zechariah says it's lies. It's the Yetzer Hara trying to trip me up, to scare me, to pull me down. I'm not going to let him do it, Avram. I'm not going to let him do it. You listening to me? Now, take a look at an amazing Gemara in source number 4. This sounds like a Twilight Zone. Bainish. I think this was a Twilight Zone. They got Sanhedrin, page 30. You have it? Source number 4. Arya, you have it? A father died, and he left an only son, and the only son knew that the father was a millionaire. But he stashed the cash somewhere, and the father died before he got a chance to tell his only son where he left the cash. Now the son is all upset. His father is dead, and no banks in those days, right? He hid it somewhere, doesn't know where. So the father comes in a dream, a Twilight Zone. After he dies, the night of the funeral, he says, listen, sonny boy, kach v'kach hein, there's $1 million in cash and $100 bills. But mokan ploini, and they are what? In this place, hidden in the backyard underneath the cherry tree. But shall Meiser Sheni hoya, but you should know the money doesn't belong to me, belongs to Meiser. So the guy wakes up in a fright, Avram, middle of the night, takes a shovel, goes back to the yard, the back on the cherry, and he keeps digging, and he finds a suitcase there. And guess what? $1 million and $100 bills. But he got a dilemma now, because the father told him it's not our money, it belongs to Meiser, it's charity money. I absconded, is that the right word, Yehuda? Absconded? Absconded with charity money. It happens. Right? He was in charge of tzedakah and he took off with it. So he went and he asked the rabbis, what? So they said, Divrei chalomot lo imalu lo meridin. Dreams, lo imalu lo meridin. What does that mean? We don't go by dreams. You can keep the money, honey.
Give us a donation.
Just give it. Source number 5. What does the Rambam say about this? Yehuda, you ain't got it? The Rambam says something amazing. Listen to this. It actually happened. Source number 5. Rambam Hilchas Chiyah Matana. Harei shoyeh mitztaer al mo'eh sheniach la'oviv. Person was upset. An only child, a son. His father died, and he knew his father left cash somewhere. V'lo yoda heichin. He didn't know where his father hid it. He checked the mattress, Avram. It wasn't in the mattress. He tore open the mattress, tore open the pillow. It's not there. So he has a dream at night. His father comes to him at night. Kach v'kach, listen. There's $1 million in $100 bills. The mokan ploini. It's buried in the backyard underneath the apple tree. The shall ploini hain, but it doesn't belong to me. It's stolen money. It belongs to Yankel Goldberg or Yankel Schmerel. So he runs out to the backyard, Avram, with a shovel and a flashlight, a cell phone flashlight, and he starts digging, and it's there. It's found exactly what the father told him in Biminyan, in the same denomination of the bills. This actually happened. So he went to ask a Shaila, can I keep the money or have to give it to Yankel Schmerel? Because my father said, I stole it from Yankel Schmerel. It's not our money, honey. So he went to ask, so he's an honest guy, he could have been quiet, right? But he went to ask a Shaila. What did the rabbis tell him, Beryl? And we don't go by dreams. We don't go by dreams. You can keep the money and you don't have to give it to Yankel Schmerel. What are we, splitting hairs here, Yehuda? If you believe, the father told him it's what? Where it is. And exactly in denomination bills, in a black satchel underneath the apple tree. But he told him it belongs to Yankel Schmerel. So why doesn't he not have to give it to Yankel Schmerel? Why does Allah say he can keep it? So what do we say, Malka? We have to say we have to say that what?
Divide up the dream.
Beautiful. Chava hit the home run. You divide the dream. The first part of the dream, where he told him where the money is, that's Hashem, through the Malach. The second part of the dream that told him it's stolen money, that's the Yetzer Hara, Satan. Get lost. You're not going to pull me down. That's the test, Miriam. It's frightening. Even when we're sleeping, he don't let go. The struggle of the Yetzer Hara, why we're called Yisrael. The struggle is even in our sleep, the Malach tries to pull us down. The Yetzer Hara. Wow. So therefore, even in our sleep, during our dreams, the struggle between the Yetzer Hara and the Yetzer Tov continue. Avram, on and on. A good dream, that's Hashem through a Malach. A bad dream, it's Satan, the Yetzer Hara. It's a lie. It's a test. This is only a test. I'm not going to fall for it. You hear? That's what is life all about, Beryl? Choosing. The Ramchal says, we were born every moment we have to make choices. We were born to make choices, and the Chiddush here is that even in your sleep, you have to continue to make choices. Even in your sleep, that's the Chiddush. We're constantly choosing, or should be choosing, between good and evil, between right and wrong, and even in your dream, you have to know which part of the dream to accept and which part of the dream to reject. That's also part of the struggle between the Yetzer Hara and the Yetzer Tov. It's the struggle, my Rebbe said, Rav Pam, the Dr. Jekyll and the Mr. Hyde. Even in your sleep, there's a constant struggle between Dr. Jekyll and the Mr. Hyde. Even when you're sleeping. So the good dreams are Dr. Jekyll. The bad dreams is what? Mr. Hyde. That's pretty amazing, huh? You see, Yosef had a dream, and he worked to make the dream happen. Otherwise, it's very difficult, Sir Rabbi, how come he orchestrated the ruse and tortured his father, didn't reveal himself, had the brothers come down, planted the cup in Benji's bag. What's going on over here? But the Ramban says that a person has to make his dreams come true, even if he has to do things that he would normally not do. If you believe in a good dream, you have to make it come true, to work on it, to work on the dream and not to give up. There's a famous case in the 1700s. There was a big machlokas between the Noide Yehuda and the other great poskim about the sturgeon and caviar. It's a great machlokas in the 1700s. What's the problem with the sturgeon? A fish, in order to be kosher, has to have fins and scales. The sturgeon is a fish who sheds its scales in the water. Out of the water, it's scaleless. But in the water, it still has the scales. When you take it out of the mayim, it becomes scaleless. So other poskim said, it's what? Dak Tomei. Because in order to be kosher, it has to be on dry land. It has to be what? Scales. Fins and scales. You know, the Yehuda felt, no. As long as it has scales in the water, even though you take it out of the water, it loses its scales, but where does a fish live? In the water. So the ikar is, as long as it has what? Scales in the water. If it has scales in the water, then the fish is kosher. Even though when you take it out, they fall off. And most of the poskim disagreed with him strongly. But anyway, the sturgeon and caviar. So most of the poskim in the 17th century, 1700s, which would be the 18th century, right, ruled that it's a dak tameh. And the Noide Yehuda, he insisted, as long as it has scales in the water, that's all that counts. You take it out of the water, it doesn't matter. If it loses scales, if it has scales in the water, it's a kosher fish. And he held very strongly about that. His son writes that he had, after this machlokes, one particular bad day when the other poskim really lynched into him. How could you say this, Rabbi? You're misleading people to eating treifa fish. That night he had a dream. Life is but a dream. Da, 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 da. He had a dream. He's sitting in Gan Eden. And the malachim are waiters. This way your table's waiting, Avram, after 120. And they're all being served bagels and lox and salmon and gefilte fish.
Caviar.
And he is brought catfish and shrimp and crabs.
Oh.
He says to the waiter, "Excuse me,
Ich bin a Yid.
ich bin a Yid. Why are you bringing me crab, shellfish, and shrimp?" He says, "Well, weren't you mater dak tameh? Rabbi, you were mater dak tameh. So enjoy your shrimp and shellfish and crabs. Because eating a fish without scales is like eating shrimp and crabs. No difference. Dig in, Rabbi. Dig in." He woke up in a fright, a cold sweat, Daniel. Did he change his psak? No!
No.
No! Till his dying day, he did not change his psak. Aryeh. He said, that was the devil. You're the devil in disguise. Oh, yes, you are. That's the Yetzer Hara trying to trick me to change my psak. Miriam, I'm not going to go for it. Till his dying day, he did not change his psak.
So why don't
That was the Yetzer Hara serving him up that shrimp and that was just an illusion to trick him, to bring him down. And the great rabbi said, "Get out of here." Now, the conservative movement, okay, Raphael, the conservative movement today accept the Noda B'Yehuda. The Orthodox world does not accept the Noda B'Yehuda, even though he was the superstar posek then. But we have a klal, Avram, Yochid V'Rabim, Halacha Karabim. Right? That even though he was the superstar posek, but he was the only one, and all the other rabbis disagreed. So the Torah tells us, Achrei Rabim Lahatot. Majority rules. So therefore, the Orthodox world did not accept the psak, but the conservative movement, even until today, they rely on the Noda B'Yehuda, who is a superstar, and they allow their congregants to eat sturgeon and caviar that comes from the sturgeon. But the Orthodox have rejected it because Achrei Rabim Lahatot. We follow the majority rule. And what? Interesting, right? So, we said over here that what? That a person has a dream, and he's told where the money is, but he's told it's stolen money. He can divide the dream, as Chava said. He accepts the good part, but he what? Dismisses the other, because the other is through the Yetzer Hara. And the first dream is the Yetzer Tov, right? We said that. Well, there's a strange Gemara in the Dorim, page 8. Someone was put in Cherem in a dream.
or reference it?
Source number 6.
Source six.
Source number 6. Yehuda, number 6. I think there's a circle there. Number 6. This is from the Gemara in the Dorim, page 8. There's a quote mark. Yehuda Omer Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef said, Nudu b'chalom. A person has a dream where he's put in Cherem. Person dreams that he's excommunicated.
Like,
That's bad news. He wakes up in the morning, he has to go and get a minion of people to be mater neder for him. But we just said before that a bad dream is what? Forget about it.
but he didn't make a letter.
So the Ran asked this question. If we say that bad dreams are only an illusion, it's only a test to try to trip me up, so how come the Gemara in the Dorim 8 says that a person was put in Cherim, that's a bad dream, excommunicated dream, when he wakes up in the morning, he has to convene a minyan of people to be matir, to allow him to be unexcommunicated. But we just said that bad dreams, Avram, are what? To be dismissed. So the Ran, he asked this question. And he says as follows, why is that? If we create our own reality, so my Rebbe Rapam explained as follows. If you're having a dream about money matters, and they tell you that it's stolen money, so that's the Yetzer Hara. That's the Satan. But if you're having a dream about being put in Cherim, that's not the Yetzer Hara, that's not the Satan. Hashem is warning you that there's something deficient in your moral character. So if a person has a dream that he's put in Cherim, that's a malach. That's not the Yetzer Hara. That the person has to take seriously because it doesn't have anything to do with money. It's Hashem is warning him through the dream that there's something deficient in his what? In his moral behavior, in his moral character. He has a character defect. And he has to work on himself to correct that, to find out what it is. And therefore, if he has a dream that he is put in the Cherim, he what? He has to take it seriously. Okay? So what did we learn today? What did we learn? What? That we create our own reality, positive or negative. And the struggle between the Yetzer Hara and the Yetzer Tov doesn't take a break even when we're sleeping. The struggle continues. Pretty amazing. The struggle goes on and on. So we have to make our good dreams come true. And to dismiss the bad dreams.
What about Paro?
What about Paro? Go ahead. What about Paro?
He was looking for that,
Mm-hmm.
the essence of the dream,
And Yosef found it. So Yosef told him that the 7 lean cows and the 7 lean stalks of wheat, and the opposite is what? So was that a good dream or a bad dream?
It was both.
It was a real dream.
It was a real dream.
It was both. It had to take Zechitzi.
That's right.
7 good years, 7 bad years.
Right.
So
Yeah, but
there
it
you
was
go.
also-
You got,
It was also
but
time
he
for Yosef
he
to
couldn't
be
figure it out.
revealed.
Only Tzaddik could figure it out.
Yosef at Tzaddik,
Because
right?
He found out what was positive in the dream.
Right.
But I have another question though.
Go ahead.
Was Yosef's dream a dream of prophecy, or was it a dream to be actualized as finding?
Nachmanides asked your question. He says you have to say that Yosef's dream where he's going to, the sun and the moon and the stars are bowing down to him. Yosef realized that that's prophecy. And a prophet has to work to make the dream come true. Otherwise, says Ramban, Yosef would be guilty of putting his father through terrible mental anguish. He became viceroy of Egypt, Avram. Why did he contact his father all the time? Became viceroy of Egypt. How long did it take to send a message from Egypt to Canaan? An SMS, how long would it take? Hey, Pa, I'm okay. I'm only viceroy of Egypt. Don't worry about me. For years, he put up a wall of silence, putting his father through terrible mental anguish. Why was he guilty of not disobeying, of dishonoring his father? Says the great Nachmanides, Yosef knew that the dreams are what? Prophecy. And the dreams are that the sun and the moon and the stars bow down to him. That couldn't happen in Eretz Yisrael. That could only happen where? In Chutz La'aretz. So he had to put a lid on it and not reveal himself until the brothers come down and actually bow down. Otherwise he'd be guilty of dishonoring his father. So Nachmanides tells us, we see that a prophet has to scheme to make sure the prophecy comes true. Just because a prophet gets a prophecy, he can't just sit back and what? On the rocking chair, he has to work to make it through. Happen. So we see this from Yosef, and we also see it from the book of Kings. Years before, Natan Hanavi had prophesied that Shlomo HaMelech would take over the throne after David dies. He heard that prophecy years before. When David is old and frail, Adoniyahu proclaims himself king, the older brother of Shlomo HaMelech. Natan Hanavi goes into a frenzy. He goes to Bathsheba, he says, listen, Bathsheba, we got a plan and scheme to make sure that Adoniyahu's plot to take over the throne doesn't come true. Because if we don't act, you're dead, your son is dead, and what about me? So they come up with a plan, a scheme to make sure that Adoniyahu doesn't keep the throne, to convince King David to what? To announce today that Shlomo is the king before he dies. Otherwise, it won't be too healthy for Bathsheba and her son Shlomo. The Ramban asked, hey prophet, why are you nervous? Yehuda, he got a nevuah years ago that Shlomo HaMelech is going to be what? King. It's in the bag. Prophet, take a pill and lie down. Why are you so agitated? Look at the book of Kings. Why are you so agitated, scheming and panicking? Oh, Bathsheba, we have to come up with a plan to make sure that the scheme doesn't work, that your son is king. Hey, relax. You got a nevuah years ago that your son will be king. So what do you see? Not just ishtadlut. When the Navi gets a nevuah, he has to make it happen.
He learned from Joseph.
He learned from Joseph. We create our own reality, positive or negative. We are God's partners. To create or to tear down, we decide. And just because a Navi got a nevuah, he cannot twiddle his thumbs. Not only ishtadlut, says Ramban, but he has to work to make it happen to the best of his ability. And therefore Joseph did what he did, even though it caused anguish to his father.
And it would seem that you've observed today, Rabbi, that because we live in a world of action called Olam HaAsiyah,
right,
that action has to be involved.
We have to be involved. No one can just sit on the sideline. God will do it. God will do it.
No, can't say that.
He says, you guys got to do it. He purposely left the world undone, Chanoch. We have to be his partners. Only when we do our best, only then will God do the rest. Shall I repeat that? Only when we do our best, only then will God do the rest. Otherwise, forget about it.
When Yosef was sitting in the pit,
yeah, right.
Rashi says
There was no Mayim, but there was creepy crawlers were there.
Now, was he sitting there in complete emunah and faith because of his dream, and that dream would eventually come true?
Beryl hit a home run. He asked the Ben Ish Chai's kasha a different. Beryl, you have to come more often. Beryl asked the kasha, but the Ben Ish Chai asked in a different way. Yiddish, Avram Berkowitz. King David was anointed. You'll see your kasha in the Ben Ish Chai's kasha by King David. King David had a olive oil shampoo by Shmuel. What's called the olive oil shampoo, Yehuda?
He was anointed.
He was anointed. Mashiach was anointed with the olive oil. Shmuel Hanavi anointed him. You are the future king of Israel. Right? He's a fugitive. After he got anointed, he's a fugitive. Who's out to get him? Shaul's out to get him. He comes to Noiv Yira Kohanim. They have no food to give him, only lechem upon him. Only a Kohen can eat lechem upon him. Someone who's not a Kohen, Mindel, is not allowed to eat lechem. It's a misa b'dei shemayim. It's a heavily death penalty for a non-Kohen to eat the what? The lechem upon him. But if you're starving and you ain't got no other food, then you're supposed to eat on Yom Kippur. V'chai b'hem. What's the greatest mitzvah, Avram? Staying alive. So if you're allowed to eat on Yom Kippur, not to die of starvation if you're starving, you can certainly eat the lechem upon him. There was no other food to eat. They only had lechem upon him, so King David had no choice, but he had to eat it Otherwise, he would starve to death. Ben Ish Chai says, what are you worried about? You had a shampoo. You were anointed by what? By Shmuel HaNavi months ago. You're going to be the king. To be the king, you can't be dead. What right do you have to eat the lechem upon him? God won't let you starve. How could he? You're the future king of Israel. I anointed you, says Shmuel HaNavi. So what right does David have to eat the lechem upon him, which is a grave sin, a heavy death penalty? You can't starve. Because if you're dead, you can't be the king. And Samuel, the true prophet of God, already anointed you king. So right, you have to eat the lechem upon him. God won't let you starve. You had a question?
He sent you the boat, he sent you the airplane, he sent you the story.
Beautiful.
He sent you the lechem upon him.
Yes, you're going to be king. If you eat the lechem upon him, otherwise you're dead. God said, I want you to be king. But if the only food you have to eat is the lechem upon him, you better eat it, otherwise you're dead. Don't blame me. You the Ben Ish Chai? It's amazing. It's a partnership. Shmuel said, you're king, not maybe. He said, you're king. And the nevuah, the toiv has to come true. But if the only food you have to eat is the lechem upon him, then you got to eat it. Because that's why God put it there for you. And if you don't eat it, you're dead. Don't blame God. So you got to do what you have to do. That's the test. That's the test.
For more of Rabbi Sprecher's teachings, visit rabbisprecher.com.